guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Marissa. I'm a holistic nutritionist and I do lots of other different health and wellness things. And today I actually want to talk to you guys about my nutritional cleanse that I'm currently on and the additions that I'm making to it. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I've talked about doing a nutritional cleanse during January where I eliminated a lot of trigger foods that I know were very irritating to my digestion, my gut lining. It caused more bloating, indigestion, things like that. I removed different foods from my diet to see how my body would respond, and so far it's been incredibly amazing. So I've been following primarily a paleo-based diet, and honestly this is the diet where I feel the most sustained, full, energized, and just really good on. And I don't even like to use the term diet because there is obviously an entire movement around diets right now, but I see this as a long-term lifestyle factor. I don't restrict myself in terms of not having rice or grains or beans and things at all. I still do have those occasionally, but they're just not my primary protein or carbohydrate source. I really rely on good quality organic meats and then good quality natural produce to help keep me full and energized. And it's made such a difference for my hormones, for my mood, for my digestion, and I'm just feeling really, really good. Now, if you've also watched some of my previous videos, you know that I've been talking about my journey in giving up alcohol. So at first, this just started with I wanted to do a dry January, get it out of my system, and just do a reset. And then February came around and I realized how much I just did not want to have any alcohol. And there's many different reasons, and I just felt like I was constantly using it as a dependent for a stress reliever. So I kind of wanted to break that habit and just really let go of the idea of needing things in my life. And alcohol was one of those big things. So additionally to continuing to remove those irritated foods that caused me some digestion upset and also eliminating alcohol, this month I've decided to add in the next step, which is a supplement detox kit. And specifically, I have chosen to use the Wild Rose D-tox. Now, before I shut this video off, please let me explain, because I think there's a bad rap around detox kits following cleanses, and unfortunately as a practicing nutritionist, sometimes I get a lot of hate, I get a lot of backlash for promoting these types of products because they are not natural or they don't align with people's belief. But I'm going to tell you the reason as to why that happens and also why I have chosen to promote this product and also use this product myself. So firstly, I've seen this firsthand because I've worked in a retail supplement health food store. People come in looking for detox kits or cleanses for one specific reason: to lose weight. And that is not why these cleanses are created, and that's unfortunate that people feel like that is going to be the solution for weight. When we're looking at weight in terms of losing weight, gaining weight, or maintaining weight, we need to look at weight as a symptom to something else going on. It is not something that we need to just hope that we're going to shed weight. That is not what happens in a cleanse. That has to come from lifestyle factors and lifestyle changes. People see a weight loss happen during a cleanse because you're eliminating a lot more frequently than you normally would not on a cleanse. So you're urinating more, having more bowel movements, and a lot of the time it's just built up excess toxins that you are eliminating, which actually allow you to lose a little bit of weight. It's not sustainable. And most people actually end up just putting on the couple pounds back on after they stop the cleanse because it's not meant for that. It's meant to detoxify the organs. So this kit in particular focuses on detoxifying the entire body. The liver, the kidney, the colon, the lymphatic system, the blood, absolutely everything, and it's very, very effective. It's only 12 days, which is really great, and it does have a specific protocol in which you can follow for your foods. There are certain foods that they recommend for you to eliminate because they contain more mold or more inflammatory components to it, which can slow down or work the opposite way of the cleanse. Let me go through everything that's included in the kit. So it's very straightforward. This 12-day program recommended diet book is going to be your little Bible if you're following it. And it really gives you some good tips in what to expect and also how to follow the protocol. So I'm not going to go through this in detail, but what I really want to say is that there's a lot of food you can eat. It's not a restrictive diet in terms of you can't eat a lot of food, because it's not true at all. The things that you cannot have on this protocol are buttermilk, cheese, or dairy of any kind. The only exception is butter. You can't have any seafood. You can't have any yogurt because, like I said, dairy. You can't have any cakes, candy, ice cream, cereal, anything that's a processed food, which is pretty much a given. No flours, gravies, no juices, no pops, no things with sugar basically. No peanuts because they can be rancid very quickly and it can cause mold, which is more of a toxin to the body. And then no sugar, so no processed sugar, really no sugar at all. And then also mushrooms. Mushrooms are one other thing that you can't have on this because it is naturally a fungus, and when you're eliminating and trying to reduce a toxic load, you want to try to eliminate those foods that contain mold naturally. The one other thing that you cannot have on here is fermented foods or foods that contain vinegar. So that really cuts out a lot of the packaged and processed foods like sauces and ingredients like ketchup, mustard, and things like that, which essentially should be eliminated on any type of cleanse because they are a processed food. So you can eat so much whole foods, and that's why I love this diet, because you can still eat grains and legumes and beans and different types of meat, chicken, you can have eggs, lots of vegetables, limits on some fruits, but you can still have apples and pears and berries and nectarines and things like that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've been following a paleo diet for some time, and I'm actually going to continue to follow a paleo diet while incorporating this. I don't really want to start adding in those inflammatory foods that are inflammatory for me, and I just want to stay with what I'm doing and just really assist my body in the detoxification method to eliminate and reduce the toxic load in my system. And one question that I do get a lot is, well, we have organs in our body that are meant to detoxify for us. And you are absolutely true. Our liver metabolize and digest unwanted things, extract the things that we need and eliminate from the system as well. Obviously our bowels, those we'll say can function optimally and cannot function optimally depending on your diet, your lifestyle, and things like that. But what I've noticed in the last few years is there are so many areas that people are forgetting about when they're thinking about where toxins are coming from. They're forgetting about their cosmetic products, the environmental aspect, herbicides and pesticides that are on non-organic and conventional foods. And there's just so many other areas in which we come into contact with toxins, and those still stay in the system for a long period of time. When we're constantly burning the system with all these toxins, it's very hard for the liver and the kidneys to kind of keep up from doing that. Now, it will do its maintenance job day in and day out, of course, but I do think that doing a cleanse maybe once a year to just support those organs would be really beneficial if you do have a high toxicity lifestyle. So in this kit, there is a laxative that's obviously going to get the bowels moving, get things going. There is the billy herb, which is a combination of herbs to help to support the detox in all the organs. There's a cleanser herb. This has burdock, marshmallow, so it's really good for soothing the gut. It's also really good for a liver, lymphatic, and blood cleanse as well too. And then lastly, there's a liquid, and this is primarily for the kidneys. What's really great is you can follow this very easily because it's 2 twice a day. So 2 of each bottle of tablets and then 2 droppers of the liquid tincture twice a day with meals. So breakfast and dinner is more ideal. If you are somebody who is intermittent fasting, you can also just do it at your lunch and dinner. That's safe to do it as well too. And that's what's really neat, is it doesn't matter what diet you follow on it, as long as you keep the foods that are the inflammatory foods out, then you can really follow any diet that you want. So this is the cleansing kit. I've decided to add it in for the next 12 days, and I'm going to document my process this entire time. So today, when I am recording this, I am on day 3. The reason I waited to day 3 is because day 1 and day 2, nothing really happens. Like day 1, you don't feel any change at all. Day 2, which was yesterday for me, I noticed an increase in bowel movements and I noticed an increase in urination, which is totally normal because on this cleanse, it also recommends you to drink around 3 liters of water a day. So things are just moving and eliminating. Now, if you become very sensitive to the laxative in here, you can always cut back, but so far I've been good with that. Things are still, moving more than normal, but nothing that's, inhibiting from me from going to work or doing daily tasks. Another side effect that's common around day 3 is a headache, and I will say it's just starting to hit for me now, but it's very mild. Like I'm not sensitive to the light. I'm not feeling like I need to lay down. I'm just gonna continue to drink lots of water and just have a calm afternoon. Over the next few days, I'm just gonna keep documenting to myself every couple days to give you guys a symptom update, and I'm gonna give you the truth. Exactly how I feel, whether it's good, whether it's bad, because I want you to know what to expect. So day 3, Day 7 and day 11 are the days in which you see the most amount of change. So day 3 is usually the hardest day in terms of getting a headache, having more frequent bowel movements. So far, I'm not experiencing anything drastic. Day 7 is the day where you kind of feel more euphoric, you feel amazing, you feel good. And then day 11 is when you're just feeling like everything's going back to normal. Your bowel movements start to be regular and things start to calm down again. And then you only got one more day left. So stay tuned for the next few days and get excited. Hey guys, I'm back to give you guys an update on how my Wild Rose cleanse is going. I'm officially on day 6, which means I'm halfway through. Only 6 more days to go, and then I can have a cookie. Just kidding, that's not the only thing I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a recap on where I'm at. The first part of this video, I was talking about the first few days and how nothing really much had changed until Sunday, where I had developed a headache and an increase in bowel movements. That carried through till Monday. So Monday I had a mild headache. And when I say mild, I actually do want to clarify. I'm somebody who is prone to getting migraines. So that is like my level of a headache is a migraine. So I might say it's more of a mild headache, but some other people might never experience headaches and they might find that it's more of a severe headache. But nothing that inhibited me from doing my job. I went to work, I taught a yoga class, I was able to be on the computer, watch the TV, was on screens. So I had no real issue with that. But that's really surprising because I made a big boo. So you guys know that this lovely tincture is part of the cleanse. So it tells you to do 2 droppers twice a day. Well, let me just show you something really quickly, okay? This is the size of the dropper. Like, it's a full dropper. So when you squeeze it, it only goes up that far. And it tells you to do 2 droppers. So in my head, I thought, oh, there must be something wrong with my dropper because it's not going all the way up. And even when you flip it up, like, there's like nothing in there. For the first 4 days, I had done enough to fill 2 full droppers, which means I had been triple dosing myself with this herbal tincture. I have done this before. I have done this cleanse before, so I don't know why I just thought that was okay. So to be honest, my symptoms were very mild compared to how high I was dosing myself. So if you're actually following the instructions, which I should have done, which I know to do, you probably won't experience a headache, or maybe it would be a very mild headache because, as you can see, I'm pretty much done this bottle. And they say in this kit, if you're not finished the bottle of the tincture at the end of the cleanse, keep going with it. And I was like, no, this is disgusting. I don't want to keep going with this. I want to be done when I'm done it. So I think that's why in my head I was like, oh, I gotta get this done faster. I gotta make sure this is done on time. I don't want to miss the full dosage. So I triple dose myself to kind of get that going. Anyways, don't do that. They have formulated this dropper to be exactly how many drops that you need in that amount that it fills up to. So you only need 2 of those, okay? You only need 2 droppers that go up to that far. Not all the way to the top, just there. So don't make that mistake like I did. That was my realization on Monday when I was like, how am I already halfway through this bottle and I'm only on day 4? I quickly realized what I was doing wrong, and now I'm only doing 2 of the correct amount from that dropper. So back to my symptoms. So I've been keeping track on my phone of all my symptoms on each day, and not much has changed. Like Monday, I had an increase in bowel movements, like 4, maybe 5, and they were much smaller, which is obviously an increase. I probably have a bowel movement once a day, and they're not formed. Like, they're not diarrhea, but they're not like a formed bowel movement. They're very loose, and that's something that you can expect in this cleanse, is much more looser bowel movements. But it wasn't anything that where I was like, I need to get to the bathroom right now. It was more like my stomach would either make a noise or I'd get like a little sensation where I'm like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom, and that'd be fine. So that was like my major symptom review for Monday. Okay, so Tuesday. This was kind of a changing point for my bowel movements. So my first bowel movement of the day, which was like usually right when I wake up, I had noticed that there was a little bit of undigested food and it was very loose. It was a large bowel movement, but it was very loose. And part of me wondered, is there something I'm missing that isn't necessarily bulking up bowel movements, because as I said in the beginning, I'm following primarily paleo-based diet during this cleanse because that's just what I follow 80% of my time. So anyways, yesterday afternoon I had a small but very loose bowel movement, and I realized maybe I need to incorporate some greens and beans in here to see like what changes. So last night for dinner, I did add in a little bit of quinoa, brown rice, and beans. It was like a mix. And then I had lots of vegetables, obviously. And by the evening, my bowel movements hadn't changed. And actually, to be completely honest, after I'd eaten dinner last night, I was still hungry. And this is primarily why I do follow a paleo diet. I just never feel fully satisfied or satiated when I eat grains and beans as my primary protein source or carbohydrate source. I just feel like I'm always missing something. Whereas when I focus heavily on the protein intake and a lot of vegetable intake, I just feel way more full and way more satiated. So last night I felt like I went to bed kind of hungry, but I just stuck it through. It's fine, no big deal. I wasn't starving. It was just more like cravings, I would say. And I normally get that when I do consume grains and rice and things like that. Anyways, fast forward today, this morning, my bowel movement was much more formed. So that rice, the beans, and the quinoa really helped to bulk that up. It actually was like an entire normal bowel movement. There was like no loose stool at all. You know, there wasn't any strain. It was just a normal bowel movement. So that was nice and refreshing. Again, I have the leftovers from last night, so there will be some grains in here again, but then like I said, I follow paleo 80% of the time, so we'll just see how the next few days goes. One other symptom I did want to mention that I have actually experienced this entire time is abdominal pain first thing in the morning. So as soon as I wake up, I roll over, I shut my alarm off. One of my dogs needs attention. As soon as I lift a toe, she knows I'm awake and just like needs attention. And sometimes we snuggle in bed for a few minutes before getting up. But I've noticed as soon as I wake up, I have this abdominal pain where I'm like, oh, I can notice that. That's more than just like a cramp. It's like something is like moving. And that's really my indication that I'm like, I've got to get up. I can't just lay here, which is really nice. And I just have to have a bowel movement right away. As soon as I have a bowel movement, the abdominal pain subsides. And I actually don't get that pain at any other time during the day at all. It's just first thing in the morning. So it must just be a warning sign to be like, let's go. These bowels are moving. It's time to eliminate, which is kind of refreshing. So yeah, that's it. I'm on day 6. I am halfway there. I will continue to record my symptoms and check back in with you guys as I progress or if anything changes. I'm done the cleanse. Last night I took my last set of pills. And today is officially the first day of no laxatives, no liquid tinctures, no liver cleansing pills, and I feel really great. So for the end of this video, I just want to give you guys a recap of the reason as to why I did this and the benefits that you may experience while doing Wild Rose Detox Kit. So my intentions was really just to support the rest of my body to go through a detoxification process. As I mentioned already in this video, alcohol was something that I had given up at the beginning of 2021, and I really just wanted to get things moving and eliminating from my system a little bit quicker just to feel a little bit better. So over the course of the 12 days, these are 3 major things I noticed in this cleanse. One was definitely an increase in bowel movement, which was very satisfying, as maybe gross as that sounds. It's very nice to know when things are working properly and you're eliminating all of the toxins. It feels like you're actually doing something and it just feels good. I will say in terms of the bowel movements, by day 8, it started to back off. So day 1 and 2, nothing really happened. Day 3 to 5, like it was a major increase in bowel movements, like around 4 to 5 times a day. Not to the point of like discomfort, it was just more frequent. Around day like 7, 8, 9, things started to slow down. And then by day 10, 11, 12, it was just 1 bowel movement a day. So it does start to go back to normal before the cleanse is even over, which is nice. So that way your body isn't really, in a huge shock once you stop taking a laxative. Number 2 was a reduction in bloating, which this was really nice and satisfying as well too, because when you're going through a detox, it's actually common for you to experience some bloating because things are moving, things are shifting, trying to eliminate from the system. And you probably decide to go on a type of cleanse just to help things move along a little bit better. And when you start a cleanse like this, you're really helping to shed that water weight and the toxins that are built up that can contribute to bloating. So I noticed less bloating, which was really nice. And number 3 would be a small increase in energy. The only reason it was small is because the way in which this program finished fell on the time change. And this time change has been a struggle for me. Normally, before the time change, I would go to bed at like 9:30, no problem at all. But with the time change and having to get up when it's still dark out, it's hard for me. I love getting up at 6 a.m. and the sun is rising. I feel so energized and great. But the last few days of this cleanse was obviously when it was still dark in the morning and it was later at night. But for me, I want that energy as soon as I wake up at 6 o'clock. And if there's not sun rising, then it's very hard for me to feel like motivated and energized. So overall, I would say my energy was pretty high considering the amount of stress that I have right now. But I would say if it wasn't time change, I would have probably seen a much bigger change in energy. So those are the 3 main takeaways that I feel were beneficial from this cleanse. As just a recap: increase in bowel movements to know that things are moving, a reduction in bloating and holding on to water weight or toxins, and then lastly, a slight increase in energy. I hope that you guys decide to add this in as a detox this spring. I would be happy to chat more about whether or not this is suited for you. But regardless, the Wild Rose D-tox is on sale at Joanne's Place in Peterborough and in Lindsay. So if you have time, pop in, save yourself some money. Even if you're not gonna do it right now, hold on to it and then start it maybe after Easter, or maybe when you're feeling a little bit more confident through April. So that pretty much wraps up this video. This was hard to do a series of videos over a few days, so we'll see what this looks like at the end. Regardless, I'm so incredibly grateful for you guys following along on this journey of YouTubing, and please show me some love by liking this video. Comment below if you've ever done a cleanse and what your experience was. I want to know good, bad, the ugly. Tell me below. And then lastly, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I've said in previous videos, I have a goal this year to reach 1,000 followers, and I really need your help to do that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in my next video.